This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. We have made it to Friday.
Yes, we've sort of crawled in this morning, it feels like.
We've limped across the finish line. We're here.
Ray is working on fighting I guess what's been a cold on a virus all week, and I have laryngitis. But other than that, everything is great. We are happy it's Friday, and we are in the midst of a gorgeous stretch of weather. This is the time of year, John Scalzi, that we just love to live here on the Suncoast.
Gotta love November.
Yep.
It is the best month, I think.
I agree with that.
Absolutely fantastic. And today we'll live up to November's reputation. We'll have a daytime high temperature that comes out mild in the mid-80s. Nice. And we'll have a relatively low humidity. I mean, it won't be bone dry, but then again, it won't be humid either. Just kind of in between, kind of nice. We'll have plenty of sunshine around. Yeah, we'll have a few fair weather clouds as well. But, you know, for the most part, mostly sunny skies by daylight. All in all, pretty nice stuff. We're looking at right now a satellite view showing a little bit of cloud cover over on the other coast. Some of that cloud cover kind of trying to sneak into our picture over the course of the morning hours. But I'll tell you, we'll have mostly sunny skies by afternoon. Cooper in central Sarasota phones in with 65 degrees, and Richard in Northport with 62. And that's pretty representative of what we got everywhere, it looks like. We'll have upper to mid 60s right along the immediate coast, and then low to middle 60s as you get into inland areas. But again, no rain falling anywhere, no fog. That is not an issue. Morning commute absolutely rain-free, and the sun will shine brightly as we head into the afternoon. Daytime highs today, probably a degree warmer than yesterday, something like that. 84, 85 degrees for a daytime high. A complete weekend forecast coming up in a few.
All right, very nice weather. Thank you, John. There's the roads right now in Manatee County. No real issues to speak of. Little build up there at the base of your screen on 301 southbound after you get past University, and it pretty much stops around 10th Street there. Otherwise, the Bayfront, some congestion. Nothing much so yet at this hour of the day in Sarasota County. South County, all clear at 6:02 on your Friday morning.
Our top story this hour, a big test for President Trump. In just a few hours, the commander-in-chief will board Air Force One for Hawaii before heading to Asia for 11 days.
This trip comes as the GOP works to make progress on tax reform. ABC's Janine Norman tells us what lies ahead and why some are pushing back on his tax proposals.
President Trump's first official trip to Asia, likely to be dominated by trade issues and tension surrounding North Korea's missile and nuclear weapons program, telling Fox News' Laura Ingraham.
We have one problem that's a very big problem. It's called North Korea. China has been helpful. We are talking trade with China.
During the trip that includes stops in Beijing, Seoul, and Tokyo, President Trump hopes Republicans back home make strides on tax reform.
I'll be back in 11 days, but I know things will go well.
This is the beginning of the end of this horrible tax code in America. It's an exciting day.
The sweeping new tax bill cuts the number of tax brackets from 7 to 4, doubles the standard deduction for married couples, bringing it to $24,000, and it offers big potential breaks for the rich, like repealing the estate tax, and a win for business by slashing corporate taxes from 35% to 20%. But American families could end up paying more with changes to popular tax breaks, like getting rid of the student loan interest deduction, writing off medical expenses, and cutting the mortgage interest deduction in half.
They're doing tax giveaways to the wealthy and the powerful, and telling the middle class, take a hike, you're on your own, baby.
Despite Republicans promising to cut the deficit, this plan is estimated to cost roughly $1.5 trillion over the next decade. And it's that price tag that even some Republicans aren't sold on. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
And you may have noticed Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan standing next to the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, at yesterday's announcement. Buchanan was showing his support after legislation to fix the nation's tax code was introduced. Buchanan issued this statement soon afterwards, saying, "We are one step closer to meaningful tax reform that will benefit all Americans. This bill cuts taxes for middle-class families as well as small businesses, simplifies a broken tax code, and jumpstarts the economy." I look forward to meeting with my constituents in the weeks ahead to discuss how the bill can be improved further as it makes its way through Congress.
Former campaign advisors say President Trump didn't dismiss the idea of arranging a meeting with Russia's president during his presidential campaign. A court filing says George Papadopoulos introduced the idea during a meeting in March of 2016. A person in that meeting says the president did not say yes or no to the idea of meeting Putin. Attorney General Jeff Sessions reportedly shut down that idea right then. Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about interactions with foreign officials close to the Russian government. So far, it's the campaign's clearest connection to Russia's efforts to meddle in the 2016 election. Investigators are now showing interest in presidential son-in-law Jared Kushner. CNN has learned that investigators are asking in witness interviews about Kushner's role in the firing of FBI Director James Comey. Kushner, of course, is married to first daughter Ivanka and is also a White House senior advisor. It is not clear how Kushner's advice to the president might relate to the overall Russia investigation or potential obstruction of justice, but sources close to the White House say that the president's son-in-law does not appear to be a target of the investigation.
Happening in Tallahassee, a leading Republican state senator says there is an organized effort to tear down the Senate and make it weak ahead of the 2018 legislative session. State Senator Jack Latvala made these comments yesterday during the Associated Press annual pre-session planning day at the Capitol. His remarks were in response to reports that a private investigator had followed him and photographed him kissing a lobbyist. Latvala said they are longtime friends. He also suggested that some House members had resigned because of the control exerted by House Speaker Richard Corcoran. The comments by Latvala are signs of a growing rift in the GOP-controlled legislature. And the state Senate is looking at new rules after one of its own was recently forced to resign. Senate President says there will be a zero-tolerance policy towards sexual harassment, and Joe Negron wants to make it easier to report it. Democratic leader Jeff Clemens resigned last week after admitting to having an extramarital affair with a lobbyist. Negron drew fire over the weekend for changing how the Senate handles sexual harassment complaints. The procedure appeared to block victims from lodging complaints with Human Resources.
We want people to feel comfortable to report any type of misconduct in the workplace. It can be done confidentially. It will be investigated, and anyone who is found to be responsible for any type of misconduct, there are consequences.
Under the new rule, workers are expected to report allegations of sexual harassment to their immediate supervisor, the Senate Chief of Staff, or the Senate President.
Governor Scott wants to dedicate more than $200 million to the well-being of children in Florida. The governor says he wants that money to go toward families who adopt kids from foster care. He says the money is needed for critical post-adoption services for more than 37,000 children. Also part of the governor's budget proposal, $10 million for the Department of Children and Families. That money would be used to hire 130 child protective investigators and abuse hotline counselors.
And Governor Scott has announced he will propose a major investment in the Florida citrus industry. He is including $21 million for citrus in his recommended budget for next year. The governor's proposed investment will include $10 million for citrus research to find solutions to citrus greening, $4 million for consumer awareness efforts to market the Florida citrus and orange juice industries, and $7 million for the Citrus Health Response Program, which ensures that growers are able to replant healthy trees after they were destroyed by Hurricane Irma.
A disaster recovery center opens today for 4 days in Bradenton to help those still affected by Irma. Disaster recovery centers offer in-person support to individuals and small business owners. Recovery specialists from FEMA, as well as the U.S. Small Business Administration and the state of Florida, are available to anyone filling out applications or updating their status. The center will be at the G.T. Bray Park near the Racket Club area. The park is at 33rd Avenue West in Bradenton. Today, tomorrow, and Monday from 9 to 7, and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Well, it does look like there will be a strong finish for this year's sea turtle nesting season. Nearly 4,500 nests were recorded on beaches from Longboat Key to Venice, and over 4,400 threatened by loggerhead sea turtles, while 79 were laid by the threatened green sea turtles. And although the count has not surpassed records that were set last year, it was the highest number of green sea turtle nests in more than 30 years of conservation efforts.
Amazing we have high numbers in light of you-know-who, Irma.
Yes, exactly. Although I did read that these little guys have some trouble sometimes getting to the water this year, more than other years past. So that's what they come out, and if they can't find their way, they get in trouble going the wrong way.
Why?
I don't know what the why behind that is, but I know that some of the volunteers have been working harder to make sure that they find their way to the water.
Interesting.
I'd love to see the little ones
Wonder
out
what the
there.
problem was.
I don't know. Maybe beach lighting. Maybe it's a
That's
full
what
moon.
I'm wondering, because
Well,
that's the only thing I can think of that would interfere with
you know,
that.
a full moon interferes with that.
I would somehow think that they are,
biologically prepared to figure it out.
Wouldn't it light their way to the water a little better?
I don't know.
I don't know. I would think so right now because it's in the west. Gorgeous this morning, that moon.
Very pretty moon coming your way. Full moon overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning. You'll see a big, bright full moon out there. It's virtually full moon right now out there, though. It's gorgeous.
It is.
Absolutely pretty. We have some nice weather over the weekend, too. Talk about that in a second.
Also, first alert traffic and a closer look at future plans for Sarasota's Bayfront.
We'll tell you what the Boston design firm chosen to draw up ideas for our area is planning when we come back.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Consumer Cellular makes it easy to stay in touch with family and stay within our budget.
Now our cell phone bill is only a fraction of what it used to be.
Our average customers get everything they need for about $25 a month, and plans start at only $15 a month with no contracts.
Consumer Cellular has a great choice of phones. Check out my new one.
I picked this simple phone.
I use my son's old smartphone. Kept my number, too.
Consumer Cellular has been an approved AARP provider since 2008, and members get exclusive discounts.
It's a good thing Consumer Cellular is always there, because sometimes I need a little help.
Sometimes. We're proud to have received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of change.
We actually use change.
Luckily, there are some things we can still afford.
Like Consumer Cellular.
Stop paying too much for wireless service. Switch to Consumer Cellular. And with our 30-day risk-free guarantee, it's easy. Call 1-800-920-3084. Go online or visit a Target store today.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 63-degree air temperature, a dew point of 62. Temperature and dew point are pretty close together. And if there's anything that's in the least bit possible this morning in terms of inclement weather, it might be some very patchy, isolated patchy fog in inland areas, inland areas, particularly to the north, but in inland areas. Watch for that. It won't be thick. It won't be very dense fog, but it could be around. Otherwise, a lot of blue, starry sky out there, and when the sun comes up, we'll have some sunshine throughout the better part of the entire weekend, actually. Maybe a few fair weather clouds coming in from the Atlantic, but nothing really serious. Certainly nothing that's going to produce any rainfall for you this morning. Your morning commute is going to be just wonderful. Northeast wind coming in at about 5, and temperatures across the region pretty much where they were yesterday, actually, with 64 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayaca coming in at 63, Parrish 64, Bradenton 63, Lakewood Ranch at 64, Longboat Key comes in at 68, Venice at 66, so is Inglewood, Northport at 64, and so is Punta Gorda. Across the United States, if you are traveling today, well, you know, most places are going to be okay. Most of the hubs along the Atlantic seaboard are going to be just fine. And as you head back into the midsection of the country, everything looks pretty good. But right through the Ohio Valley, stretching up to coastal areas of the easternmost Great Lakes, there could be some issues with weather. Also, of course, the Pacific Northwest seeing some showers there. For us here locally, not going to see a whole lot of action, but a little trough will develop over on the Atlantic side, and there'll be some spotty showers along the Atlantic coast. We may catch a little bit of the cloud cover from that, but I don't think we'll see any of the rainfall. We stay dry for the entire weekend, I think. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 to 15 brings you a light chop with 2-foot seas, and the forecast looks great for the next 7 days with daytime highs hovering around the mid-80s to mid-lower 80s. And don't forget, those clocks go back Sunday morning. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much. Things look good out there this morning. We do have some building volume there, 301 northbound, actually, at State Route 70, as we would expect this time of morning. I-75 moving well through Manatee County. As we move down into Sarasota County, things look good. 41 southbound picking up in volume there as you head south of Clark Road and down into South County, moving through Nokomis, Venice, and into Northport even. I-75 and 41 are moving well. It is 6:17, and plans to redevelop Sarasota's Bayfront around the Van Wezel took a major step forward recently when a committee chose an out-of-state master planning firm to design all 42 acres.
So how soon until construction starts there? What are the plans, and who's going to pay for all this development? We did some digging of our own to find out. It may be one of the most underutilized pieces of bayfront land on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Several city blocks and not a lot usually going on here. 42 acres of prime real estate on Sarasota's bayfront. So what's going to happen here? If you ask passersby like Mike Wolders, he hopes to see a lot of new buildings here.
It helps out with the economy. The economy revolves around people working.
But if you ask nearby resident Janice Stafford, she hopes this area remains peaceful.
I'd like to see more plantings and more, and maybe some sort of, maybe a playground for some kids or something, but not huge buildings, no.
Whether this area becomes buildings or a playground will largely be up to the Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization, a nonprofit board of local business leaders who are now renting out this nearby city-owned building. Over the past few years, the group that used to call itself Bayfront 2020 and now goes by The Bay has held dozens of meetings, public forums, and taken notes on what residents want. One recent survey concluded most people want a boardwalk, an outdoor performance area, and art sculptures.
And it's just an extraordinary set of sort of puzzle pieces that we're excited to start playing with.
Just a few weeks ago, the local committee hired a master planning firm from Boston named Sasaki. And after one look, designers we talked to via Skype said they're not surprised the city wants to do more with this land.
Oh, absolutely. It feels very, very underutilized.
But one big question is still looming large. Should this be a quiet area that's maintained as a park-type atmosphere, or perhaps a bustling nightlife center?
How about all of the above? How about a little bit of everything? And I think that is really one of the keys to activation.
Fair enough, but keep in mind just a couple blocks south, there's a $1 billion project also in the works, once again called the Quay, that is also in the planning stages. The Quay will be privately funded. But who will pay for this city project?
A great question, Ray.
Sarasota City Manager Tom Barwin says it'll be a mix of public and private dollars.
Most major metropolitan entertainment facilities have a blend of financing.
And speaking of entertainment facilities, what does the future hold for the centerpiece of this redevelopment, the 50-year-old Van Wezel Performing Arts Center?
It's something that's going to have to be discussed. It's a sensitive topic, obviously, and it certainly, will need improvement. Whether raising it is the answer, I don't think we know that yet.
One board member told me off the record it would probably be replaced by a larger facility and eventually get knocked down. When pressed, City Manager Tom Barwin gave two very different answers.
I think the Van Wezel in its identity as a cultural center is certainly going to survive. That's one of the reasons this whole initiative has been undertaken.
Certainly going to survive, but then 2 minutes later he said this.
You know, these are decisions that have yet to be made.
And Barwin says despite years of public input, you can expect more public input in the coming months. Do you think it'll ever break ground?
I believe there will be ground broken within, the next few years.
Few years, man. I'm so antsy for this.
I know, they wanted to break ground in 2017 right now, but now it turns out Bayfront 2020 was quite prescient. Yeah. Might be the case after all.
It's such a valuable piece of land. Our city needs it so much.
It is, but 2 blocks south is the giant Quay properties.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. Will they complement each other? Will they be same kind of projects?
Right.
I think the Quay will be a little more retail-based, and the Van Wezel area will be a little more trails.
Let's just
and
get
sculpture.
something going, because that's what we need to do.
Good idea. 6:21 right now, still ahead. Black Friday is now 3 weeks away.
We'll tell you why some big-name retailers are already starting their sales earlier than ever before when we come back.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
Do you have type 2 diabetes, which requires daily blood monitoring? If you have diabetes, are you on Medicare, Obamacare, or other health insurance? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for diabetic testing supplies at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. Our accredited staff will handle all of your paperwork for free. And best of all, your diabetic testing supplies are shipped directly to your home for free. Call now to see if you qualify for a meter upgrade and a free pedometer to monitor your daily walking. Use alternate testing sites, a smaller blood sample, and even hear your results out loud. Will you qualify for diabetic testing supplies and an upgraded meter covered by Medicare, Obamacare, or health insurance at little to no out-of-pocket cost to you?
Find out for free by calling the Diabetes Resource Center at 1-800-394-1098. That's 1-800-394-1098, 1-800-394-1098.
If you're between 50 and 85 years old, call the number on your screen right now for free information on how to save your family thousands of dollars. We're Family Love Plans, and we've been helping families just like yours for over 30 years. The average funeral today can cost up to $10,000 or more, but the most you'll get from government benefits is just $255. How will your family pay the difference? At Family Love Plans, we can help you and your family. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam and your plan can't be canceled. Better still, your rate will never go up and your benefits will never go down. Get your free information about our senior plans. Just answer a few simple questions and receive approval right over the phone.
Call 1-800-707-3608. That's 1-800-707-3608.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, AND services.com.
After a soft opening earlier in the summer, now is the official grand opening of the Westin, which you will find at 41 in Gulfstream with the Ringling Causeway there. So they've had a good run the past couple of months. And today is the official grand opening, and some celebrations continue. until next week as well there.
And a lot of people enjoying the rooftop this time of year.
Yes.
Very popular place, especially on weekends, and a really great way to get a nice view of the city.
I had a chance to catch a sunset last night on the Bayfront. So if you go to Ray Collins ABC7 on Facebook, you'll see some great sunset pictures last night from the Bayfront around Marina Jack. So check those out. Check out John Scalzi's page as well. You see lots of good local weather information right there on our Facebook pages.
It is 6:25, and holiday shopping deals are arriving even earlier this year.
But does that mean better deals? ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has an answer.
In this morning's GMA First Look, we'll tell you all about the stores getting a head start on holiday deals.
Some of the retailers are getting very excited, and they're really pushing the deals starting today.
Inside Amazon's Countdown to Black Friday store, discounts on toys, appliances, and electronics. These Beats wireless headphones now $40 off. This Hoover vacuum now $85 off. eBay introducing new daily deals every 5 minutes through November 9th. Meantime, Dell announcing 48 hours of Black Friday early access, up to 50% off a range of Dell PCs, gaming, and VR systems through 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So how can you get in on the action and outsmart Black Friday? We'll tell you, coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Ashley HOMESTORE salutes savings at our big Veterans Day event. Save up to 25% on the styles and selections you're looking for, or get 6 years no interest. Save on beds, sofas, and dining room sets. And for a limited time, get 6 years no interest, or save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets. The Veterans Day event going on now for a limited time at the #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer in North America, Ashley HOMESTORE. This is home.
America's favorite cookie. Delicious chocolate candy. Oreo chocolate candy bars. Now also available in mint flavor.
You look amazing.
And you look amazingly comfortable.
When your V-neck looks more like a U-neck, that's when you know it's half washed. Add Downy to keep your collars from stretching. Downy, and it's done.
Take the trolley to Siesta Beach for the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. See master sand sculptors create works of art. It's family fun with hands-on kids activities, sand sculpting lessons, music, food, a party tent, and more. Visit SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251. 800-628-1251.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Do you need a good laugh?
Starting November 1st at the Player Center, everything that can go wrong does go wrong in the smash hit comedy Moon Over Buffalo. This wild Broadway series production shows what happens both on stage and off. Contact the Players at 365-2494 or at theplayers.org. The show must go on with Moon Over Buffalo.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast. It's bigger and better. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. 24 international artists create massive sand sculptures. Enjoy 4 days and 2 nights with live music, food, a party tent, and more. See SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com for details.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, a man is behind bars charged with his girlfriend's death after setting a van on fire in Osprey. We'll tell you what led to his arrest.
Plus, Helping the Hungry in Manatee County will preview a popular annual event later on today in Lakewood Ranch.
And Division I college tennis comes to the area for an annual tournament for a good cause. Those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
It is 6:31 on a Friday morning. Welcome back. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
I'm Ray Collins. Welcome also to the Oakland Raiders, who are in Sarasota all this week. They've been quietly staying at the Ritz and practicing at IMG. And some folks have seen the convoy of buses going up and down 41.
It's a really kind of neat story.
Yeah.
They're here because they played a game last week in Buffalo and have a game this coming week in Miami, and they didn't want to travel back and forth to California. But I was reading the story. They've had to relocate, literally, you know, massage tables, cryotherapy, 200 staff members, spouses, families. I mean, the whole deal is here in Sarasota.
The cost of renting 150 rooms for a week at the Ritz-Carlton.
I can only imagine.
That's why ticket prices are so high. All right.
They're working hard, I'm sure.
Yeah, let's get to that great weekend forecast. Here's John Scalzi.
The Days Inn was booked.
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
Got to do what you got to do.
Got to go where you got to go. We have some lovely weather shaping up for us over the weekend. We have a little bit of fair weather cloudiness, but that's about it. Maybe some patchy fog in the inland areas, but it's not a big deal. Otherwise, dry conditions will prevail. Taking a look at the satellite view, it's clean as a whistle. Temperatures across the region generally in the mid-60s in inland areas. A little teeny bit warmer as you get near the coast, and a daytime high today tops out in the low 80s. Complete forecast in a minute.
All right, John, checking first alert traffic in Manatee County. Not too much to report so far. 15th Street East, a little build up there in the northbound lane around State Road 70. Farther south, you'll see 41 southbound around the Weston and the Bayfront. A little congestion there already this morning. Otherwise, not much in mid-Sarasota County. South County, all clear at 6:32 on your Friday morning.
Topping our news this half hour, a Hillsborough County man is behind bars after his girlfriend's body is found in a burning minivan in Osprey more than 2 weeks ago.
Michael Clark accused of killing his longtime girlfriend, who's also the mother of their 3 children. Our Rick Adams has the story.
It's just not something I would have ever pictured him doing.
Rashad bin Mohammed of Brandon has known 34-year-old Michael Clark since their high school days. He's in disbelief over the news that Clark has been arrested for the murder of his longtime girlfriend, Kristen Kelly.
I've known him for a long time. You know, he's a jokester, a little bit of a clown. You know, he always likes to go out, have fun, fun-loving kid. It's really, really sad what happened.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office says the investigation began on October 15th when they found Kelly's dead body inside a burning minivan along I-75 in Sarasota County. Clark was the driver of the vehicle, and he says he didn't know how the fire began or how Kelly had died.
Through investigative means, we were able to determine that he is the one who beat his girlfriend and the mother of his kids to death. Put her in the back of his own vehicle, drove her to Sarasota, set his car on fire for the purpose of destroying evidence of his own crimes.
Clark is charged with murder, arson, tampering with evidence, and possession of cocaine. He had worked at this barber shop in Brandon. None of his co-workers would come on camera to comment, but bin Mohammed says he would get his haircuts from Clark.
He's my barber. He's been cutting my hair for a long time. Obviously not in the past month, but he has his kids at the shop all the time, and they're, you know, good, happy, fun-loving kids.
In Sarasota County, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Detectives are still looking for information regarding a fight that led to a stabbing back in April. The incident happened at the Bonbon's restaurant, bar, and lounge. The victim suffered permanent injuries from the stabbing. Sarasota police say 18-year-old Jose Lazada Alvarez was arrested and charged with aggravated battery. But detectives have reason to believe more witnesses have not yet come forward. If you have more information on the incident that happened there, you're asked to contact Sarasota police.
An update now on national news. Colorado police arrested one man for killing 3 people at a Walmart earlier this week there. Witnesses say 47-year-old Scott Ostrom walked into the store and nonchalantly began firing toward the registers before walking back out in the same calm fashion. Ostrom was later spotted in a car near his apartment complex and arrested. Police have not yet released any details about the victims and have not identified a motive as well.
We're learning more about Sayfullo Saipov, the suspect arrested in the Manhattan terror attack that killed 8 people and injured 13 on Tuesday. Investigators believe Saipov was planning the Halloween attack for nearly a year. They also found multiple knives and a note pledging allegiance to ISIS. Neighbors who knew the suspect say he was reserved and his family was not overtly religious. Saipov was not on any terrorist watch list and was likely radicalized after he moved to the U.S. from Uzbekistan in 2010.
What I'm hopeful is that we'll be able to perhaps do a psychological profile here and learn what makes these people tick. When do they cross over that line?
City officials have started to place concrete barriers along the bike path where that attack happened. ISIS said in its weekly newspaper that Saipov is in fact a soldier of the Caliphate terror group.
Caught on camera, a kidnapping victim made a daring escape from the trunk of her captor's car. Now watch this. Police in Alabama say the man broke into the woman's home earlier this week and kidnapped her. Now they didn't know each other. When he stopped at the gas station and went inside, the woman who was in the trunk popped the trunk open and ran inside the same store for help. Now you can see the suspect flee in the striped shirt once he realizes she is also coming into the gas station. There it goes. Timothy Wyatt, later taken into police custody. He is now being charged with robbery, kidnapping, and domestic violence.
The owner of the iconic Biltmore estate in North Carolina has died. The Biltmore Company says William Amherst Vanderbilt passed away at his home in Asheville. He had a career in finance before returning to North Carolina in 1960 to preserve his childhood home. His parents opened the Biltmore house to the public in 1930, but did not make a profit until 1969. And at that point, it was only $17. Today, the 8,000-acre estate is worth more than $1.4 million, and people are welcomed annually. Cecil was 89 years old. And just a reminder, if you want to stay up to date on the latest breaking and local news, see alerts on your phone instantly, you can simply download our new updated app. iPhone and iPad users, go to the App Store and search for WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users, that update happens automatically.
Northport police will have an increased presence today on the campus of Woodland Middle School after a student ran away from the school yesterday yelling threatening comments. Parents are concerned, but police say after the investigation, his comments are not considered to be a credible threat. An extra officer will be on hand today as a precaution.
Bad news for a Manatee County High School football team just before playoffs are getting underway. Southeast High is now on probation for their post-game fight against Hardy High School last month. The team will also be fined more than $1,600. 6 players have already been suspended for 4 weeks due to that fight, and Southeast recently had to forfeit 6 regular season games after the Manatee County School District learned about an academically ineligible player who played in those games. The Seminoles were 6-1 so far this season before the recent fallout. There's one regular season game tonight against Harmony High School.
There's renewed talk on Longboat Key about it being in 2 separate counties. Right now, a third of Longboat Key is in Manatee County, of course. Town Manager Dave Bullock says those residents are paying $2.6 million more a year in taxes than those in Sarasota County, and they are not getting any additional services. So Bullock says, as things stand now, it's a hassle having 2 elections, 2 sheriff's offices, and also 2 different sets of county laws.
And if 95% of them say we'd like to be in this county or that county, then we know where our citizens are and we sort of have our mission at that point.
So what's next? Well, town leaders will meet in February with the Manatee County Commission to talk about the idea of somehow moving forward.
The city of Northport is planning for the future, specifically how many fire stations the city will need as the population in Northport continues to grow. Currently about 60,000 people live in the city, but that is expected to grow to 200,000 over the next 2 decades.
You're looking at somewhere near 12 fire stations to cover a city this size, and with that, more than doubling the people that we have on board today.
Much of the growth is expected in the West Villages area of Northport, where the developer has already agreed to help build a fire station.
There was quite a turnout yesterday for the annual Empty Bowls Luncheon, and more are expected today to help come out and stamp out hunger. Empty Bowls is the primary fundraiser benefiting the Food Bank of Manatee County, with 100% of proceeds going back to the program. 15 restaurants took part yesterday, and 16 more are today on hand. Everyone who comes out gets their own bowl to take home, as well as soup and bread, to show how together they can help fill empty bowls of their neighbors in need.
We have so many of our neighbors, hard to believe, that can't afford to put food on the table. So today's event, a great event with great soup and great restaurants here, will help us to fill the bowls of those in need.
The Food Bank of Manatee County provides food to more than 100 social service agencies, food pantries, and soup kitchens across the area. If you want to take part, it's today from 11 to 1 on Main Street outdoors in Lakewood Ranch. And speaking of Lakewood Ranch, starting today and through the weekend, some of the best college tennis teams in the country will be competing again. The Intercollegiate Tournament will take place on the courts of Lakewood Ranch Golf and Country Club. This is an annual event that involves men's and women's tennis, which helps raise money through scholarships for the V Foundation to further assist cancer research. The event ends with the finals on Sunday, and best of all, it is free. And if you're out there tomorrow morning, I'll be there as well. Should be a great event. Best tennis players in the country in college.
Yeah, great to have that here on our courts.
Yeah, sure is. And the weather will be just fantastic for it as well. So get out there and help Bobby V.
Bobby V. Dickie V.
Dickie V. Right.
That's right.
Beautiful weather over the weekend. We'll talk about that in a few.
All right, and coming up, our first alert traffic, and also to come the latest in setting the clocks back an hour this weekend. Looking forward to that extra hour of sleep. But does the change influence your mood? I think it helps mine.
We'll tell you why psychologists say the change could make you sad and what you can do to beat the winter blues when we come back.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? you'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
There's never been a better time to call California Closets. Now during our autumn upgrade event, save up to 20% when you upgrade to an Italian-inspired wood grain finish. Contact us for your free design consultation today. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
63 degrees our air temperature, dew point coming in at 62 as well. We have very close temperature in dew point, and so consequently we have a possibility, especially in inland locations, of maybe a little bit of patchy fog, but it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be widespread, and if you encounter it, it's not going to be all that thick. But it's interesting that it might be there. We're getting into fog season now, and so we'll be talking about fog more and more as we head into the next couple of weeks. Northeast wind comes in at about 5. We have temperatures across the region that are generally all coming in the mid-60s. 64 Wauchula, Arcadia, 63 in Mayaca, Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Bradenton, 65 in Venice, 66 in Inglewood, 68 Longboat Key, 63 Sarasota. Northport comes in at 64 as well. So across the nation, there are a few hot spots in terms of the weather. One, this frontal boundary that kind of meanders from the Arklatex on up through down East Maine. Anywhere along this line, you could see some pretty good showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. So watch for that, especially around areas of Cincinnati. If you are traveling today, expect airport delays there. Otherwise, the eastern seaboard looks good. High pressure, the dominant feature for us, providing us with fair weather. An easterly wind to a northeasterly wind once again today will kind of bring that humidity our way, but not so much that it's uncomfortable. Just temperatures and dew points that may lead to a little bit of patchy fog during the morning hours. That's about it. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies with a few fair weather clouds perhaps at times, particularly in the morning. Warm during the afternoon, mid-80s I think is a pretty good bet. And dry. Don't see any rain in the forecast. Forecast looks like this actually for boaters today. Nice day on the water. Northeast wind at 10 to 15. We'll have a northeast wind overnight. A little bit lighter at about 10. 2-foot seas, light chop, and the forecast for the entire rest of the 7-day period looks fantastic. Temperatures in the mid-80s to lower 80s. And don't forget, clock's back Sunday 2 a.m. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Taking a look at traffic, quiet start this morning. People taking a little extra time at home, it appears. We do have some volume near DeSoto Square Mall in Bradenton, but for the most part, things are very quiet out there. I-75 not showing any problems all the way into Sarasota County. Little volume getting on the expressway there at Bee Ridge Road, but as you move into South County, it is a quiet trip through Osprey down into Nokomis and Venice, and I-75 smooth sailing all the way down to Port Charlotte. In this hour's Health Smart, this Sunday marks the end of daylight saving time when we turn the clocks back an hour. But according to psychologists at the Cleveland Clinic, when it gets dark outside sooner, it can impact our likelihood of developing seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. SAD is marked by feelings of sleepiness, withdrawal, irritability. Research has shown that women suffer from SAD 4 times more than men do, and the symptoms tend to be more severe. In addition to longer periods of darkness, where you live also impacts this.
Of course, we know that people in Florida aren't going to suffer quite as much. Rate of seasonal affective disorder down there is about 1.4%. Get up to New Hampshire, about 9.7%. So where you exist in relation to the equator makes a difference.
So another reason to love the Suncoast, but to help fight off your winter blues, doctors say get yourself outdoors more, get together with people, or get some exercise. And if you're finding it harder to sleep at night, you are not alone. It's not as uncommon as you may think. Some people need less sleep as they age, but still you should aim for 7 to 8 hours a night, and that is true for adults 65 and older as well, according to the National Sleep Foundation. Disrupted sleep and feeling tired when you wake up are not normal parts of aging. So a few tricks to get a better night's sleep: limit your daytime napping, don't eat a heavy meal before bed, turn off the electronics, and try reading a book or listening to music. Regular exercise also helps. If you do suffer from insomnia, you should talk to your doctor.
Entertainment news now. A reboot of that popular old show, The Twilight Zone. Remember that one? CBS is teaming up with actor and director Jordan Peele to jumpstart that popular TV show. The Rod Serling created series ran for 5 seasons on CBS from 1959 to 1964 and was revived actually twice back in the 80s and in 2002. This new reboot is set to air online on CBS All Access. Plus, Thor could be quite a hit this weekend. Box Office Pro is forecasting Thor will have a $109 million opening weekend at the domestic box office. Movie ticket e-tailer Fandango reports the film is outpacing Spider-Man when compared to the week leading up to Spidey's successful summer debut as well. And a rare opportunity for collectors as more than 150 big celebrity items go up for auction in Los Angeles starting in about a week. People can bid on Hollywood memorabilia like Elvis's 1957 pink Cadillac, along with clothing worn by Marilyn Monroe, Jackie Kennedy, and Michael Jackson. Also up for grabs, the tickets won by Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Titanic. Also the military uniform worn by Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump, and the umbrella from Mary Poppins. For more information, you can go to the website gwsauctions.com. For those with plenty of disposable income.
Yes, I was going to say, you'll pay a pretty penny for those, no doubt.
And then what? Sit in the corner and stare at them. Up next, your top local news headlines, and a secret chamber is discovered in a Great Pyramid.
We'll tell you why experts say this could solve the mystery of how it was built. Stay with us.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. AndServices.com. AndServices.com.
A live picture there of the Westin having their grand opening today on Sarasota's Bayfront. They had a soft opening months ago. It's been open for a while, but today it becomes official.
part of the changing landscape there at 41 and Gulfstream. So a lot of new things popping up in that part of town. It is 6:54, and here are some of the top stories we are following for you on the Suncoast.
We're learning more about a fatal van fire on I-75 nearly 2 weeks ago in Osprey. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is now charging this man, Michael Clark of Brandon, in the death of his girlfriend and mother of their 3 children.
A disaster recovery center opens today for 4 days in Bradenton to help those still being affected by Hurricane Irma. It will be at Bray Park, that's on 33rd Avenue West.
And the Empty Bowls Luncheon will be held from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today on Main Street in Lakewood Ranch. This is the second luncheon in as many days to help raise money for the Food Bank of Manatee County.
Checking out first alert traffic, we are starting to see the bridges southbound from Palmetto to Bradenton filling up, but I-75 is still an easy trip through Manatee County all the way down into Sarasota County. No major slowdowns, things looking good. Fruitville, Bee Ridge, and Clark Roads. A little volume northbound on 41 into downtown, but in South County we are also looking good with just a little bit of volume there on 41 in Northport. John?
Well, it's going to be a lovely weekend, I think. We'll start off with fine weather today. Daytime high tops out in the mid-80s. We'll have nighttime lows in the mid-60s. Don't see much in the way of a rain chance this weekend. Maybe slightly cooler by the end of the week. And don't forget, on Sunday, 2 a.m. in the morning, when you go to bed Saturday night, actually turn those clocks back. And then while you're at it, check the batteries in that smoke detector.
Good advice. Archaeologists have found a large secret chamber in the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. It's the first discovery inside this massive monument since the 19th century. Experts use cosmic ray-based imaging to examine the 4,500-year-old pyramid. They say it could help solve the mystery of how it was built. But they also say the chamber isn't likely to contain any hidden treasure. Al Capone's vault.
It's amazing after all these years, centuries, that these things still keep being found.
A time capsule perhaps inside there.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it will be kind of cool. I wonder if they will actually open it up. I suppose they'll have to at some point.
I would hope so.
Put a little camera in there or something.
Gorgeous start to the day. Enjoy your Friday. Good night.